Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 13th of March 2019. It's good it's not Friday. Piotr here, and we are going to check the pre-London Open, what is going on, what's the sentiment. But before we start, risk warning as usual, guys. Please remember, trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all your initial investment, so please do not invest the money that you can afford to lose. Okay, just a reminder, we are going to have another meeting today, later today, after the New York Open. So yeah, you are more than welcome to visit us at 2 p.m. CET time, 1 hour after New York Open, and we are going to check what is going on during the New York session. What is on the agenda today? At 11 a.m. CET, so within the next 3 hours, we are going to get industrial production from EU. In the meantime, we are going to have a German 30-year bond auction, and out of UK annual budget release. I know it's important, but looks like the Brexit saga is much more important for now. We are gonna to check the pound chart within the next few minutes. And during the New York session, we are going to get core durable goods orders and PPI, as well as construction spending, and later at 3:30 p.m. CET, crude oil inventories. During the day, most probably it's gonna be second part of the New York session. We are going to have another Parliament Brexit vote. Okay. What about options market? Now we are trying to switch to the charts. On the euro dollar side, we are trading 12.85 right now, and every 50 pips we've got more than billion. So 112, 1.2 billion, 1250, 1.8 billion, 113, 1.6. So the range from the ECB day, right, still in play. We hit the top yesterday, and we were discussing this yesterday. So the first test, and we do have the rejection, right? That's something natural, that's something I expected. Now we know where's possible supply, where is possible demand based on the daily. Possible demand is around the Monday high, Monday close, right? So we are talking about something around 1250. So I'm not so surprised we do have some options around that level. How does it look like from the intraday perspective? Some cleanings are needed. And there you go. That's the supply related to the ECB, right? I would say that we do have unfinished business a little bit higher So as long as we are below this range, this ECB range is in play, okay? So what I'm gonna look for is to try to fade 13.15, 13.25. So switching to the lower time frame, I would like to see some kind of the double top where the second top is a little bit higher and looks like false break. All right, something like this. And I would like to have it around this zone. So that's my possible intraday short setup. And I'm gonna to try to trade it once only. So if I'm right and correct during the first attempt, I'm not gonna to try to make another trade within these levels, right? What's my target? If I'm gonna be able to try to trade it from 13.15, 13.25 with tight stops, something like 8-12 pips, right? Looking for at least 3R. So in that case, let's say 36 pips. But the natural target is something around the Monday high. So something around 1260, 1250. So that might be something like 50 pips. So we are talking about something like 3-4R, right? Just a reminder, guys, because we are gonna to have the webinars, risk related webinars about my strategies. So please, as of now, you don't know the details of my strategies, so test what I'm talking about, and you like it, just test it on a demo account or paper trading only. Okay, that's so important. Anyway, so in case of the move to the downside, right? This Monday high as a final target. From the long perspective, looks like Monday and Tuesday it was same game, and that's what we discussed yesterday. And congratulations to those of you who were trying to test it yesterday as well. I've mentioned about that yesterday morning. So Monday we took out the Tokyo low and we ran higher, and it was same yesterday. And it was same yesterday over here. As we can see, lower shadows, right? So what about long side? I would be very careful, because let me make some cleanings here and explain. I would be very careful trying to chase the long side now, right? And now why? Because looks like all the nearest demand, intraday demand levels were consumed already, right? What I'm talking about. All right, so that's the latest demand. Current pullback. There is one more possible trade to the upside, but I would say risk reward may not be worth to try to take it towards this supply. So probably I'm not gonna to take that risk here. But anyway, this demand looks like Tokyo consumed this one, right? Now the previous one. Holy crap. 1 second, sorry guys. All right, I'm going to correct it later. The previous one, this break to the upside, all right? With this pullback, we took out this demand, right? Again, this run higher, pullback, we took out this demand. So all the way up from weekly open, all these intraday demands were taken out, right? So I would be very careful trying to chase the longs. I would like to see some kind of the spike down towards weekly open, closer to the bottom of that ECB range to try to establish longs. At least that's how it looks right now for me. Okay? So trying to summarize euro dollar, I'm going to try, of course it might change easily right after the London Open, right? As long as I cannot move the market, I have to adapt to the current conditions. And for now, for me, okay, from the midterm perspective, I see possibility to break higher, right? But for now, this ECB range is a trading range for me. So trying to fade the high and trying to establish longs lower towards the bottom of this ECB range. That's it in case of euro dollar. Pound, I don't know if it's a comedy, if it's a drama, or what it is. Theresa May lost another vote. So I'm not sure, but looks like today we are going to vote or we are trying to reject no deal Brexit. And if that's gonna be rejected, then there is another vote for related to the trying to extend the Article 50, but that's gonna cost Brits a lot of money. That's what we get over the weekend. That's how I understand the things. But who cares? Taxpayers. Holy crap, what a mess. Anyway, looks like, based on the report from Telegraph, I'm gonna to put the link into the chat window. Looks like another ministers could quit to back Brexit Plan B. And there we go. huge range yesterday, and yeah, I would say very similar to what we were discussing on euro dollar a second ago. Possible demand is around the weekly open, blue dotted line, that's the weekly open. All right, so that's the first possible demand. So in case we are going to see prices going lower, probably market will try to take out yesterday low to grab some stops, right? Weekly open, that's 29.69. We may see attempt to take the low as well here, right? It's related to the high from month ago, 13th of February. Okay, so in that case, if that's going to happen, the next possible demand is what we've seen here. That's the next demand zone, and it's between 28.40, 27.65. And taking into consideration the yesterday range, the higher volatility, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see lower levels. To the upside, yesterday open as possible supply, all right, and yesterday high, another possible supply, and 133, 133.50 as a key. Taking these levels out, and we may see 135 and then 37. I would say maybe not now, but because of the seasonality, April might be a bit better for the pound. We may try to catch up and try to trade based on the high expectations. But we have to clean the mess with the Brexit, right? So in that case, Carney gonna be able to show us the path, right? In that case, there is a little light in the tunnel for the bulls in that case. But 133, it's gonna be tough to take out and close above based on what we've seen on a higher time frame. That's the monthly, and we were discussing previously. So intraday, let's have a look what we have here. So we have hidden supply over here on the hourly, in my opinion. Hopefully I'm correct on that. And looks like over here we didn't quite test it. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another attempt to try to trade this intraday supply, to try to retest this intraday supply towards 32.5, 32.45. All right. Possible intraday demand is over here. There you go. That's where we stopped yesterday and we saw huge bounce, right? So without the upper shadow, if we are going to make it like this, that might be this yesterday low as a pool of stops. That's what we discussed a second ago. and we may see stop run to the downside and retest this demand, and something around 29.80, 29.60, 29.75, 29.60 may work as possible demand. We'll see, especially if we are going to, that's easy to check, the easiest tools are the best. All right, so that's the whole move. If we are talking that might be hidden supply over here, and I'm gonna to explain during one of the webinars what I'm talking about. And that was the low, right? And if we are trying to build the scenario around stop counting only, okay, under the yesterday low, and then another rally, so trying to visualize this as a 1-to-1, let's say, move to the downside. So how high from now we can go to make it possible, all right, to realize this, to trying to write this scenario down, right? And as you can see, this supply might be tested, then the whole move to the downside from yesterday, taking this move from that hidden supply, stops under yesterday low, hitting the weekly open, hitting this intraday possible demand. That's what I can do. I can try to visualize for myself. As long as I cannot move the market by myself, I have to visualize. I have to build some scenarios around and trying to trade these scenarios, right? On the other hand, let's have a look. One more scenario, that was the bounce, right? So the question is, if after we saw that bounce, if that dip was deep enough to push 1-to-1 to the upside and hit this hidden supply. Oh, looks like it might work that way. So from the very aggressive day trading perspective, depends on how the London will play this out. If we are going to see aggressive attempt to move lower, and we are gonna to try to hit this 30.50 with rejection, right? So I'm gonna to watch it on a smaller time frame, right? Same as we discussed in euro dollar yesterday. It's that easy. I'm not saying it's easy that we are gonna to collect some pips, because we may easily be stopped out. But this type of the approach, it has to be easy, the easiest way you can. You have to do that way. So scenario number one, with aggressive approach to this day trading, strong run towards 30.50 with rejection. In that case, we are playing this, and I'm going to trade this scenario with this 1-to-1 towards this hidden supply. That's the point number one, right? Number two, because we have unlimited number of the possible scenarios, right? So once you are gonna to try to figure out all of them, you are not gonna to make the trading decision. Simply, you are not gonna have a time, because they are gonna to make the move, and you are going to try to figure it out another scenario, right? So that's the scenario number one for me. It might be completely different for you. Scenario number 2, straight run, again based on the same 1-to-1, but without the stop hunting to the downside. Run towards this hidden supply. So I'm gonna to watch this supply to try to fade that rally. And based on what we drew before, how high can we go to try to hit this yesterday's stops and possible demand intraday looks like 32.20. So something in between 32.20, 32.50, I'm gonna to look to fade, try to sell the rallies. All right. So that's my scenarios for the London session on pound. Hopefully, hopefully you got my point here. We do have, mostly because of the weaker sentiment or a bit of risk-off sentiment during the Tokyo session, we do have this pullback on Aussie dollar, and that's okay. I like this pullback, and depends on the sentiment later during the day. It might create opportunity to try to go long. Ideally would be 70.22, so we would have this over under retest, and that's quite possible based on the move and this bounce, tiny bounce, boom, right, lower. And I would like to see this during the London and around the New York Open, and then let's say we are gonna to get another week US data and we may see rally back. But if we are gonna to get very ugly sentiment during the New York session, I would be careful with this scenario, because the commodity currencies may follow the sentiment. So I would be careful here. All right. So if that might be the case, all right, why not to try to trade this short? Looks like from the risk reward perspective, it could make a sense. So let's switch a little bit. First, let me explain. Yeah. If we are going to get the early close, because what we are checking right now is the early chart. So if the current candle is going to close below the low of what we've seen 2 hours ago, I'm talking about this one, so that might be some kind of the confirmation of the supply is trying to take over. All right. Would be good to see the close also below this zone over here. All right. So then we are going to have supply over here, and with tight stop, really that could make sense to try to trade this 70 30 70 20. All right, because from the risk perspective, right, yeah, there is a possibility to try to get 3R. Okay, the thing is that I'm not sure if the stops around here is enough. I would be more confident to have it little above this, right? So that's what Asia did. So maybe I would have it above here. So maybe we can create another scenario, and if it's going to happen, then we can try to test it. I mean, we have some kind of the flag over here, right? And we have attempt to break lower. This first attempt may not work properly, and that's another strategy I'm gonna to discuss with you in the near future. All right. So false break from this flag, meaning we are going to see another rally higher, and in that case we may try to make simple measure again. How high can we go? And again, retest of this Tokyo breakdown point. That would make sense, and that's, yeah, I like it. I like it. Bigger. That's better scenario for me. We'll see how London will play it out. And let's switch a little bit lower. Yeah, maybe it's not a good place to call it head and shoulders, but something similar. So the retest of this low, yeah, might be in play. We'll see. All right. And dollar yen. That's the daily. And if this channel the draw of this channel is correct, then last Friday we made the breakdown. So right now we would like to see retest, right, of this line. So in that case, what we are talking about the last Wednesday low, 1160, 1165. So closing this or retesting this range here, meaning retesting broken channel, and trying to go a little bit lower. Just a reminder, end of the Japanese fiscal year, 31st of March, and yen may want to get back home, so trying to take the advantage of it, yeah, it could make sense. So how does it look like from the intraday perspective? Where was the breakdown? Over here. Okay. So what we may retest? Yeah. 1159 or a little bit higher, 1180 even. All right. So that's the first supply zone I'm gonna to watch carefully from that perspective, right? If we are trying to think about the longs, I would wait for a retest of 110.40, 110. I wouldn't chase the market from the long side here. I would be very, very careful. That might be something like this. So run higher again towards possible supply, and then trying to trade downside. Of course, if that's going to happen, so first Monday high, then weekly open, that's what the bears have to take out and try to move below these levels ASAP. Okay. All right, that's it from me in this pre-London Open preview. Hopefully you like it, hopefully you get it. Don't be trapped, be careful. And you are more than welcome to join me at 2 p.m. CET, so 1 hour after New York Open. Have a great morning and see you again.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.